Hi, I'm Kira, welcome back, and if you're new here, I make art here and I'm working on my webtoon, and in this channel I share everything about my OCs, about my art journey, and give some tips and just yap and draw. Today I'm doing something I've never done before. Why I feel so nervous. I'm creating my first girl OC. Yeah, that's right. Those people who are familiar with my art know that I only draw guys. Is it considered like pick-me artist? Both fan art and original characters? Only guys. But stuff needs to be changed. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through my own first experience of creating my own first female OC, and of course I will address more about why I didn't draw girls for so many years, for a decade actually. We will have some psychological analysis moment and we'll figure out what's wrong with me and maybe also what's wrong with you. Today I'm going to show you how I make new OC character sheet again. I did it before in my channel with my green snake OC Nico. You guys really loved him, I appreciate that a lot. In that video I compared his creation with being pregnant and giving birth. That's how I personally associate my OC creation process. They are all my kids for me, I'm not exaggerating. And I split the video in stages of pregnancy. So we are going to do the same here. This could go really well or really bad. But anyway, let's start. Before we move on, I want to say a quick thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. Have an iPad and don't know where to start? Become a digital artist with Procreate. Skillshare is the best place to explore the freedom and feel-good fun of Procreate. Learn from top Procreate artists alongside other beginners and make 2026 the year you trade doom scrolling for drawing something. Whether you're rekindling your creative passion, fulfilling your personal curriculum, or just looking to expand your mind, Skillshare has the lessons, resources, and most importantly, community to keep you energized and motivated. One class I really enjoyed is Pretty in Pink, Draw a Cute Snake in Procreate by Unicorn. You know, I love snakes and I couldn't resist to try to follow the tutorial. If you are more into realistic or semi-realistic art, Emma Gillette's Digital Portraits in Procreate goes deep into brushes, shading, and techniques that instantly makes your painting look more polished and professional. And I have a special gift for you. The first 500 people to use my link in the description or scan this QR code will receive 1 month's free trial of Skillshare. Thank you again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video, and we can get back to the drawing. Part 1. First trimester. My new OC design is inspired by one of my favorite snake, the coral snake. I actually saw a milk snake in local zoo last year and I couldn't stop staring and really had million ideas running in my head how I could make it a character. But then I discovered interesting fact that the milk snakes are actually non-venomous and they imitate their markings and behaviors of coral snake to not be attacked by predators. So choosing between milk snake and coral snake, I chose the coral snake because I really wanted to make her venomous little Pookie because she's actually a daughter of a mafia boss. By the way, the boss himself I'm planning to make in future video, so don't forget to subscribe to not miss it. So I wanted to make her small, colorful, but extremely venomous, so I built her personality around that contrast. Her color palette comes from coral snakes, red, black, and yellow, and to make a nice color balance, I want to make her clothes opposite of red, light blue. More about her appearance, I wanted to give her black, almost creepy eyes and calm expression, because she doesn't need to look aggressive to be threatening. But I also really don't want to make her super boring, so I was thinking what will be fun to add for her personality, and my idea was to make her fashion very elegant and classy. I was collecting pictures that matched it from Pinterest. It actually made me want to dress like this myself. And because she's a daughter of a mafia boss, I wanted to make her wearing luxurious brands like Hermes or Dior or Van Cleef jewelry. That's such a life goal projected in the character. But don't get me wrong, she's not one of those how to reach right way persons. She's a simple girl and those luxurious items are gifts from her dad paying off his lack of spending time with her because he needs to take care of his gang. Personality wise, she's quiet, shy, but very observant. She doesn't talk much, but if you become her close friend, she will be hard to stop yapping. She doesn't really care about money and wellness, and she often escapes on her own to explore the world and hang out with with other average people, and it caused her dad a lot of troubles. I was thinking what existing characters inspiration I could find. I was thinking of Shenhe from Genshin, Homura from Madoka, and maybe Mei from another. Also a bit of Queen Jang Won-young energy. I wanted her to feel elegant but dangerous at the same time, just like a coral snake, and I'm sketching those ideas on my sketchbook. I really enjoy this phase to see ideas coming to life. I didn't really know yet how exactly she's going to look, so sketchbook makes it much easier for experimenting and researching. I knew that I want to apply patterns and color scheme of coral snake in her hair, and for that I needed to make her hair long so it plays as if it's a tail. And as I did in the Nico creation video, I want to share a song playlist that I've listened while drawing her, so you can feel the vibe maybe. So here are the final result of my sketching, and we can move to the next part. Part 2, second trimester. This is the stage when the embryo OC starts to turn into a fetus, aka sketch from a sketchbook turned into digital drawing. As you can see, I just send my sketchbook pictures to my Procreate and start to do line art of my OC. I also included some doodles I did with fountain ink pen off camera. I'm starting with the bust drawing to make multiple variations of her hair color. I actually enjoy doing multiple concepts a lot, and I have this habit since I've worked in the game development industry. I mainly did character concept art back then, and I've used to provide many options for a designers or project producer. I've posted these options in my Discord server where people did the votes, and the most choices got the option number 4. We also chose her name in my Discord, and I will reveal it in the end of this video. And if you also want to be part of the character design process, I have a Discord channel. We talk, do polls, share art, and I post a little artist diary there. Quick note, my Discord is for YouTube members and patrons. Even the lowest tier, like €2, gets you in. It helps support the channel and keeps the Discord cozy and chill. So I would love to see you there. And back to the drawing process. Here is the time-lapse of a sketch of her standing up. I drew it in Procreate. I was still struggling with the fashion I want her to wear. I didn't want it to make her skirt too short because of the possible difficulties with the tail it can cause. By the way, fun fact, me and my friends quite a long time ago were discussing what would be the signs that one of us in a hostage situation. So they will see that something is not right and they call the police right away. And I said that I will create a girl OC. So dear friends, I'm fine, do not worry. I'm safe and I'm not in a hostage. I swear, I'm just overcoming my fears. In the Nico creation video, I did draw him nude to show his snake patterns on his skin, and I really don't want to do the same with my girlie. She doesn't have those patterns. She just has a snake tail. Her tail is way thinner than Nico's and Naja's, but she also has 2 small sharp fangs to bite with paralyzing poison. Yeah, she's a dangerous girl. I've decided to make character sheet where she's standing full size, then 2 busts with different angle and hairstyle, and a little illustration where she lays down and scrolling her reels. I wanted to give her the girliest energy possible, and that pose really shows that in my opinion. I didn't want her to look too young and too adult as well, so she is a high school girly, so maybe around 17 years old I would say. What an amazing age. Actually, that could be my happiest age, I remember. Sometimes I miss the years when your only problem is the test in math and how to run away from the school to eat some sweets in the park. So drawing her gives me a little warm nostalgia feeling. I was actually super scared to make her unintentionally super masculine. I mean, after drawing big buffed guys for more than a decade, my eye proportion could be a bit distorted. I might not see it myself, but if you see it now, please let me know. So I decided to add a version of a different hairstyle, and I thought it would be a ponytail. But my girlie is too elegant and sophisticated, so I gave her a small bun with a braid and a silk bow. I was having so much fun drawing her because my boys are just so messy, and even giving Shade a braid or bow will not match his personality. For a pose where she lays on her stomach, I actually used a reference from Pinterest I found. I think it's really cute, and I add her Van Cleef bracelet that actually cost more than $6,000, which is money that I never had in my bank account even. But everything best for my girlie. I also just noticed that I made her hands giant. Here it comes, my eye distortion after drawing only men in my life, so I quickly fixed that. And of course, don't forget to add her a black Dior bag. I use just a picture for now to render it later. Here I've decided to open her mouth to show little sharp fangs. She's also my first poisonous snake OC, by the way, which I might use in my future webtoon plots, where if she has an argument with someone, she just bites a person and that person just becomes paralyzed for a day. So you better don't mess with her, understand? This hairstyle also shows how her hair color is layered. Inside of her hair is mostly black, which gives her nice style when she has her hair up. Flat coloring process is the most chill for me because I just turn off my brain and watch something in the background. I use filling lasso tool for a faster process in Clip Studio Paint. Originally, I planned to do a full render only for this pose, but I couldn't resist but work too much on every pose here. You will see it in the next part of the video. Only because I really loved her even more during the process and I wanted to put as much effort as I can for my princess. Adding a chibi snake and we can move to the next part. Part 3, third trimester. I was so happy to see how my ideas come real and our little daughter is getting ready for delivery. In this stage, the baby is fully developed but still needs some polish, aka she needs to be rendered. I'm using different blending brushes and adding shadows with linear burn layer. I always do a layer mask to make shadows color more consistent. I really wanted to make her eyes a bit blurred so they're not super creepy because she is a good girl after all. I'm blending almost everything because I want to give her that dreamy, soft vibe. And while you see me rendering, I want to reflect a bit why I never drew girls. Because a lot of people asked me that question during my Q&A. By the way, go watch it if you didn't yet, it's my previous video on my channel. So I asked this question for myself before, and the answers I could think of was: I draw only male characters because I like muscular, strong bodies. I like hot guys and I draw them because it gives me aesthetic satisfaction. Or my other theory was the fact that I grew up around a lot of girls, my sisters and cousins, and I was so bored around them and only thing I wished was to have a brother or a guy friend to play cooler stuff. And maybe growing up I unintentionally rejected girl figures from my head and became who I am now. But the thing is that I actually had many girls OCs in the past. Even before starting digital art, I had an OC for Naruto universe that was a girl. I had an OC for Bleach universe that was a girl as well. I drew original manga in copybooks and I had 3 girls there, all super different, and I really loved them. I loved them even more than my male OCs. And I was confused myself. What the hell happened? Why did I stop drawing girls? What was that turning point? I honestly didn't know. I had no clue. I just know the feeling I had when the idea of drawing a girl came into my head. It's the feeling you have before visiting the dentist or when you need to give a public speech. And only times when it was okay for me was commissions, fan art, and if it's a task in my work. Other form of drawing a female character gave me anxiety, especially if I will give them a personality. And I had no idea why. Then I went to ask AI chatbot, and it gave me some number of reasons why it can happen. So, reason number 1. Drawing woman makes me feel exposed. If you've ever experienced being judged for your body, sexualization, comparison or shame, pressure to perform femininity correctly, then drawing female bodies can trigger a low-level fight-or-flight response, which are overthinking, freezing, discomfort you cannot logically explain. Your nervous system may associate female form with risk. Avoidance equal protection. Reason number 2. Distance feels safer. Drawing male characters can act as an emotional distance, a buffer between you and the work, a way to tell stories without putting yourself in them. Even if the character aren't you, your body might feel, this is safer to inhabit. That's very common in people who learned early to step outside themselves to cope. Reason number 3. Internalized gaze. Many artists unconsciously carry the male gaze, the critical audience gaze, the "am I doing this wrong" gaze. When you draw girls, it can feel like someone is watching over your shoulder even when no one is. that hyper-awareness is often trauma-related, especially from growing up online, being criticized young, having your appearance commented on. Reason number 4. Control versus vulnerability. Male characters often allow more emotional freedom without self-comparison, less pressure to be beautiful, more room for exaggeration and ugliness. Drawing women can feel like being asked to be vulnerable on paper, and if vulnerability hasn't felt safe in your life, your art will avoid it automatically. That's it. Yeah, maybe using AI it's not the smartest thing in this field, but I mostly relate to everything what was said. And I started to recall some stuff from my past and connecting the dots. I stopped drawing girls when I was 19. At that age, I met one person who changed my life and self-image completely. I don't want to go into too much details, but because of that person, I went to a strict diet and spent 3 hours a day in a gym, 6 days a week. I was always skinny and I wouldn't say that I ever had any insecurities about my body, but that person told me that it's a shame to have any fat tissue at my age. So the person wanted me to not have fat tissues at all. And I got into hyperfixation, and everything what I was thinking about was how many calories I've burned and what supplements I need to drink to burn that couple centimeter layer of my fat on my waist. And all those crazy training and dieting led me to a hospital where doctors told me that I sweated all my kalium out. My heart was overworking and gave me symptoms of a heart attack. Later, that person said that I'm not pretty enough to receive flowers, and I thought it was true. Then that person started to compare me with every girl walking by. I either was too flat, had too much makeup or too little makeup, I wasn't hot enough, or acted in the wrong way. All these words and actions made me so messed up. And thinking now, I would just shut this person's mouth, yell at them and tell them to go F themselves. But I was too young to defend myself back then, and I was so naive. On top of that, back then when I was drawing girls, I was still experimenting with my art style and preferences. And I did draw girls sometimes a bit more exposed. And it attracted a lot of creeps. Thinking that if I draw hot girls, it means I crave sexual attention myself. And that made me feel disgusted, and I've never wanted any more attention in this way. And drawing guys was the best shield I created for myself, because creeps just don't write anyone who draws hot men because they don't look at hot men. That was my logic. So after all those experiences, I felt that I want to avoid everything what's related to drawing girls. And drawing guys made me feel much safer from creeps, judgment, comparison, and my body image. That's basically my answer. Yeah, figuring this out was kind of shocking to me. That's true that I was scared to draw girls even though I really wanted to. And this video is actually very meaningful to me. It's the first time I actually overcome my fears and create my first girl OC. You might not see that, but during the process of drawing this character sheet, I was very emotional. If you are familiar with my art, you know that I take my OCs very personally and they mean the world to me. And drawing this girl made me feel that I changed something in myself. Maybe the feeling of leaving the fear and pain in the past and starting a new chapter in my life. Yeah, it might sound too much, but I cannot explain it otherwise. So meet her, my new first girl OC. Meet my precious Iris. So, did it go good or did it go bad? I actually feel like I got undressed in front of whole internet, but also I feel huge relief. I hope by making this video I answered some people's question. And also I hope you like my new girl Iris. Her birthday day is 24th January, write it down. And please let me know in the comments if you like her design. I'm so happy how she turned out. And I'm so happy that I have one more character to draw now. And of course I will make more girls in the future. I will be making votes for every new character in my Discord channel and also in my Patreon and YouTube memberships, just in case if you don't have Discord. And of course I will continue to draw my boys as well. So give them your love, they feel neglected. See you in the next video. Bye.